So here's an update on my garden. I've got thyme, Mexican herb, I think this is fennel. I just worked on my cranberry plant. I cut it back, gave it some fertilizer. I put in some hydrogen peroxide and water, diluted solution. The roots. So the hydrogen peroxide diluted in water is said to help rejuvenate the plant by giving it some oxygen to the roots, and I'm assuming killing off any bacteria or fungus that doesn't need to be there. This guy is still alive. He's very red. He's very happy. But he's not doing as well as I would want him to. Okay, and so we move over to here. Here's my blueberry plant. It has one little blueberry that's turning red and two little blueberries down there, if you can see them, that are ripening. It's getting really long. I'm gonna have to cut it back when it's done with making blueberries. Then I have my basil, the newest addition to our family. This guy's kind of flopping over because he gets watered a lot. And I've got my poinsettia, who is not red yet. It will be red during the winter, but right now it's green. Compost pile. My older basil plant, who has started to seed on these two branches. I'm trying over here to propagate some sunflower seeds, but they're not popping up. They're not growing. I'll have to try again. And in here I've got a turmeric. I'm trying to propagate it so it'll come out of the ground. Then I'll move it into its own bucket and it'll be able to grow. Here I've planted a ton of seeds. I don't remember what they are, but something along the lines of parsley and cilantro. These little guys, I think, are from the trees above us, up there, because I actually have a few, this one, and that one, and that one, that are already growing here. I have a bunch of foxtail weeds, and here too. I took the foxtail weeds and these weeds out of my cranberry plant. They were hanging out, growing in there. And I thought, I might as well see what they'll do. I have my potatoes. I just added some new potatoes. I have that one, and that one. And there's one in there, a little tiny bit. Can't really see it because he's under the ground. Then I have one over there. The caterpillars have totally gotten to all my potato plants. I just had to bring some over to across the way because they were eating my plants. I didn't want them to eat them anymore. So this is my first dragon fruit, and I got him. I got him when he was just this little piece and this little piece. He's grown all the way over here, and then he started growing up here. Then he started growing over there. Okay, and over here we have my second dragon fruit. I got him when he was just this big. Since then he's grown that tall, and I've had to rubber band him to this bamboo pole I got with my cranberry plant. Okay, so over here I have my ginger. two plants, one here and one here, and they're growing in that direction. Some leeks in the back. A bunch of green onions that my mom bought from the store. We cut them down to size, stuck them in the soil, and now they're growing really tall. Interesting fact about green onions. Usually they're alive. You just stick them in a little bit of water, have the roots grow a little bit, cut them down to about maybe 2 or 3 inches. Then they start growing back on their own, and you can get more green onions. Same with leeks, which we actually now have a leek flower. We're gonna get some seeds soon. Okay, back down to these lettuces. They're kind of like purpley lettuces. They're a little bit slow growing because they were, I put them in the ground in these pots, and I actually should have, oops. I actually should have taken them out of this, the little paper cups, so they could have room to grow. Then over here we have all these lantanas, and they were actually really gangly when I got them. So my neighbor had bought a bunch, and she didn't have time to water them, so they started looking like that stick, if you can see it, or actually like that guy. So what I did is I put a little bit of my compost tea fertilizer in there, just a little bit. Then I cut back all the dead branches until I could see green on the inside of the stems. And literally the next day, I got new growth, new little leaves all around the edges. This is probably about a week later, and I'm really happy with myself. So after I cut back the leaves, I watered in the fertilizer, and they just started popping up. Here I have my asparagus plant. If you can see him, he's a stick sticking out of the ground. I just cut him back an 8 apiece.